Hello, thank you for joining us today. My name is Carlene.
And I'm Jay. We are also known as Jaylene.
On this channel, we recap and provide our reviews for Married at First Sight.
Today we'll be reviewing episode 21, Climbing Down from Decision Day.
Welcome to our first time viewers, and welcome back to those who have been with us before. Thank you to those who subscribe, but if you haven't already, please do so now and click that notification bell.
First of all, let me apologize for my voice. I'm a little under the weather, but we're going to start with this piece of crap waste of time that they showed us in the beginning of this episode.
We have the girls, Becca, Claire, and Emily. So we know that Claire was happy not being the odd one out anymore, and she gladly welcomed Becca and Emily to the divorce club. So I guess they were expecting their now ex-husbands to call them after decision day.
I didn't understand that. For all the backlash and all the argument that was going on at that party, why would you think they would text you? Were you guys really wanting an apology? I can understand Becca wanting an apology, but the other two, y'all marriages was clearly over, so I didn't understand why they wanted even any kind of contact outside of this is the day we're signing divorce papers.
Then Austin met up with his roommate, and he continues to mention how he didn't know that going out with the producer was such a big deal. So his roommate, she looked confused, trying to understand what he was talking about, and he also mentioned that he was lying. Remember when they were at the group setting, and Becca kept asking him direct questions that everyone knew, and he was trying to lie about it. So he didn't mention that. And Austin thought it was a mistake reaching out to Becca because he didn't really process what happened, and she was expecting an apology. So I'm glad that the roommate was like, yeah, you know what you did, especially you were lying, and then you called and you were justifying what you were doing, but all Becca wanted to hear was an apology.
What I don't understand is, if it wasn't a big deal, why did you lie in the first place? My question is this producer attractive? Because she's attractive and you guys are having some type of conversation between filming and Becca. I've noticed this kind of energy. I can see why she feels some type of way about him hanging out with this producer. So if it wasn't a big deal, you wouldn't have lied about it. You would have just said, oh yeah, I ran into so-and-so, the producer was there, and that would have been all it was to it. But I'm assuming there's something going on between him and the producer, or there's some type of energy between him and the producer that didn't sit right with Becca.
When Austin said that Becca wanted them to disconnect, like on social media, how long do you think that would last?
Until she is no longer in her feelings, because she keeps going back and forth between, I love Austin, which I don't know how you love this man at this point, and he's also lying to you and you don't trust him. So she confuses me on that aspect. I feel she's putting too much into this, like he's the only man on the planet, and her instincts are telling her one thing, but she's trying to fight against it, which is going to hurt her in the long run.
Becca and Austin, they were able to meet with their friends separately. So Becca's friend was surprised that she was in a relationship that required so much of her time. And also her friend pointed out how Becca, she grows from talking, right? But every time when she would want to have a conversation with Austin, it was like shut down. Because remember, Austin always liked to keep things surface level.
See, that's where it comes into play, where you need to learn your partner's love language. Obviously, she likes to communicate. He don't like to say a damn thing. So they're already disconnected there. And I think her friend pointed out about her putting so much energy into him. I can't remember if she said he wasn't putting that much energy back, or he didn't put enough the energy that she deserved. And I wish the energy she was giving off, like on the after party, or that big blow up after decision day. She would have put forth that energy and kind of been very direct with Austin. This could have, they still not worked out, but you could have nipped a lot of this in the bud.
I know Becca keeps thinking about Austin, or she keeps going back and forth. Did she make the right decision? Because she knows that he will grow, but she's not going to reap those benefits. But her friend made it perfectly clear that Becca should not get back with Austin ever.
And I concur. Rumor has it on decision day, Becca and Austin both said no initially, and then had the producers have them come back, refilm, and made them say yes. So I'm like, if this is true, why make these people say yes when they want to say no? How is that healthy for them? I don't like that, and I feel this is not the first time they've done that on this show. I feel like they did it with Mark the Shark and Lindsay. She was mentally abusive, right? Verbally abusive. I think it was Lindsay, but I think they made them say yes as well, because clearly they should have said no, as much as they were arguing, going back and forth. Same thing with Jamie and what's her name? Elizabeth. So clearly, of people who should have said no on decision day said yes. So I don't like that aspect as far as the show. Like, let them make their own decisions. Don't coerce them, because you guys are going 0 for 5, 0 for 4, 0 for 3 with all these couples. The longer you guys be on the air.
Brennan and his friend, they met at a bar and then they started playing pool. So Brennan was happy to announce how he is now a single man. But his friend was calling him out, saying, I thought divorce wasn't an option. But then Brennan talked about how miserable he was and how this wasn't what he signed up for.
How is it what you not signed up for? Don't it say in the contract what you signed up for? Only thing that Brennan tried to do in this party episode was make himself look good. Because I saw him look directly at the camera at one point, and I'm thinking to myself, at this point, people already think of you one way. There's not going to be changing no one's mind. So, what part made you so miserable? Where she said you're not fun? Or when she said she had one night stands? But you wasn't thinking all that when when his friends told him at the wedding that, oh, she's willing to sleep with you tonight. He didn't say all that back then. So what was so miserable about it? I don't see Emily as a bad person. Maybe she's not what you wanted, and that is fine. But man up and just say that. And don't worry about what people are going to think of you otherwise. Because about time this season ends and they get to another season, you're not going to be that memorable.
Brennan mentioned how he was hurt from Emily's comments, especially the ones from the diary cam, and that's why he had her deleted. So his friend doesn't think that Brennan received the closure that he needs from this experience, but Brennan looked like he could care less, so his friend just stopped pushing that issue. Okay, so Lauren and Orion. Lauren said that she wasn't going to reach out to Orion first, so Orion invited Lauren to participate in an aggressive activity, and this made Lauren very happy.
Yeah, the only thing I was looking forward and seeing, I was like, why is Manchild and Lauren back on my screen? We don't need to see any updates from people who are no longer together. After decision day, you don't need to be on my screen until the reunion, honestly. And Manchild looked like he got mollywopped inside his eye. Anyone else catch that? Looked like he got punched right in his eye. Now, I don't know if someone did something to him or not, but still, either way. And then what? Manchild tried to say he wants to be more than friends with Lauren. And if I'm Lauren, I'm like, why wouldn't you shut that down ASAP? It seems like she's trying to be PC about it and not hurt his feelings. But I'm like, the way he treated you, keep that part in mind and shut it down from Jump Street. You don't want to be more than friends with this guy. You barely want to be friends with this guy, if you're being honest. And Cameron, he was talking to Michael, pretty much kind of bashing Claire. about what's going on there, and then trying to give Michael some advice, and just venting to Michael in general, which was a waste of time. And the camera angle that the camera had on him, I don't want to see that from the angle. If you're going to do it, put it from to the side or don't do it at all. I thought that was just a waste of time, trying to give him more airtime. And there's a lot to more of this camera and Claire thing than we all apparently realized. Okay, so now where I found to see the most juicy part of the season, which is the after party. Like, if they would have took whatever they took on the after party and put it on the actual season, the season would have been a lot better to me. I felt there's so much anger, so much resentment. They really like bring it out on the after party. So, as you can see, Keisha's husband is sitting in the middle, which doesn't happen. Usually the person will sit on all the way to the left or all the way to the right when they have a guest person come in. So there's a lot of back and forth between Becca and Cameron. And apparently there's a lot of text messages going on, and how Claire said pretty much she wasn't attracted to Cameron from Jump Street, and if she kissed him, she wouldn't like it. It was a lot of pettiness going back and forth. And then Cameron said, I don't want to put this in the public. I don't want to put this up there. But Emily, she cheated on Brennan. No one really cares. The way that Brennan was treating Emily, if she would have cheated, I can give a monkey's left nipple if she cheated or not. I didn't care about that. But the tension between Cameron and Becca, I was wondering why would they put them on the set together, knowing that they don't like each other and something could have went down. There was a lot of back and forth argument, and all these secrets they wanted to be kept off camera, they should have kept that on camera, and the season would have been a lot better. That's just in my opinion.
Now we have Chloe and Michael. So the couple spent some time at an animal sanctuary, and yes, this was Chloe's idea. So she has a dream of owning one in the future, but Michael, he's not feeling the same way. But he said that he is emotionally touched by the animals. While scooping up poop, Chloe told Michael about her dream, and she was really selling it. I mean, Michael was asking very detailed questions. He really wanted to know what he could possibly get himself into.
We all remember how Chloe was not into Michael based on how he was dressing and all his fashion choices. But since they have now slept together, it seems like her emotional ties have grown more to Michael. But I feel she lost Michael when she said that she wanted to adopt 5 kids at a time. So to me, that indicates she wants 5 kids in the house at all times with no end date. And on top of that, she says she wants them to be older kids, teenage, and they most likely will have behavioral issues. What person gonna sign up for that? It's bad enough when you have your own kids and they teenagers and they getting on your nerves. You got some kids are not yours getting on your nerves and you can't beat them. I'm sorry. I don't understand. But then the farm thing with all the animals, I think she could have got away with that with him. With the animal thing, could have been mostly her thing. He would have pitched in. But I think with the kids thing, I'm thinking if you want to adopt some kids, that's fine. But when they're grown, they move out and we're back to me and you. But when she said recurring, I think that's where he had the problem. And I don't think he can get past that. So I think that's where he was like, okay, I don't think I can do this.
When Chloe said 5 at a time for the foster kids, Michael just stopped listening. I think he even turned his head away, trying to process what she was saying. But in his confessional, he didn't want to shut her dream down, and I'm glad he didn't try to force her to change her mind at that moment.
I can understand that, but at the same time, if she wants to compromise on if she wants to have older children in the household, what about 2? Because teenagers are a lot, especially if they're, depending on how they came up in the foster system. Have they been there their whole time? Have they been to different foster homes? How have they been treated? Now, if she would have said, we can do 2 if she wants that certain age, that's one thing. But recurring, and if they have to be 5, I think that's going to be a deal breaker.
So they were at a bar, and I guess they were having a makeout session. And Michael jumped right in about where they're going to be living. So I think 5 is just Chloe's number. I'm not mad at it, but it's really scaring Michael. So when they were talking about their apartments versus buying a home, Michael was making a slow exit, and Chloe wasn't pleased. So Michael told Chloe that he needs like 2 days away from her to recharge. Remember when Chloe was the one trying to get away from him? I think Chloe was trying to be realistic with her dream and allow Michael to voice his concerns. So he did, but his body language looked like he was ready to fight.
What did they say? Be careful what you ask for. Because she wanted to say, this is a safe space so you can get off your chest what you want to get off. She was waiting for him to say he had an issue with the kids and the farming thing. I feel if he would have said exactly what he really felt, they would have gotten into an argument and she'd been wanting a divorce right then and there instead of later on.
Yeah, Michael was really thinking about how to word everything. And then it took me back to when the friends warned her about this. Like he really thinks about what he's going to say. So he's saying some things, but it's not like, no, I'm not comfortable or I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I think his armor's starting to crack for all his perfect answers to every question. The armor's starting to get cracked and chip away.
Now they're in a tub, and I'm guessing it's beer in there. Well, that's what they said on the after party. So Chloe asked Michael about his decision if it was decision day. Why do they keep doing this? I think they're looking for a fight.
I agree. I can understand if everything is vibing and you already know you guys are going to say yes on decision day, but this is conversations they also have off camera when it's closer to decision day. But I think because they've had sex and she feels more closer to Michael, she thinks that they're in a better spot than they are. If this was prior to the kids' conversation, I think he probably would have said yes instead of I need more data. So that's where she messed up. And after that part, I think she doesn't know where they are or where he's thinking or his mindset is at now. So then they meet with Dr. Pia. And I did like how Dr. Pia sensed there was something off where there's something that they want to say, but they may not want to say it in front of her or for the cameras, but she's hoping they're saying it to each other. I'm feeling it's more of the kid situation. It's like I keep going back to that. I think that threw Michael off, like how him wearing skirts threw her off initially. I think they need to have a better, deeper conversation of what the kids thing entailed and can they come to a compromise. I think if they can work that out, I think they would be fine. But we see how he's kind of like trying to figure out how can I get out of this now and still look like the good guy, I guess.
Yeah, I like the way how Dr. Pia did call them out because it looks like they were putting on a show. Like, I don't know if they practiced before, but she's like, something is off here. So Michael doesn't want to say no like right away, but we know that he's headed in that direction. Well, that's all we have for episode 21. What are your thoughts on episode 21? We'd love to hear from you. Please put your thoughts in the comments. Please continue to like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos.
Later, everyone.
Bye.